Hi, the purpose of this demo is to show you some of the functions of the risk neutral density R package. So I'm going to run a few functions here. I'll start by setting the working directory to my desktop. It'll be easier to see things then. I'm going to install the RND package. It's going to ask you where you want to download the package. I'm going to go to someplace in California because that's where I live. And this loads the library. Okay, the first demo is about the MOE function, mother of all extractions. So this function takes your data and extracts the risk neutral density based on a number of methods and summarizes them. This data set already comes with the package. So let's load the data. Let's look at a description of the data. It's S&P 500 options, 62 days to expiration. This is what the S&P 500 was on that day, April 19th. Okay, dimensions of the data, 117 rows by 19 columns. Let's just look at the first 6 rows. Okay, so the columns that you see with .c, those are call data, and the ones with .p are put data. The description is also in the help file. Okay, so I'm going to pre-process the data a little bit. Your method of pre-processing may be different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything, all the open interests that are 0 or all the bids that are 0 out of my data. It reduces the dimension of the data, took out quite a bit of data. Now I'm going to just get the calls and puts separately. Let's just take a look at the data. By the way, for plotting purposes, if you really want to get really nice plots, I would recommend ggplot2, but I'm just going to stick to the basics here. Okay, so seems to make sense. As the strike price goes up, calls go down, puts go up. Okay, so there's a function that comes with the package extract rates. This uses the put call parity to extract the dividend yield and the risk-free rate. It only works for European options. So let's run it here. Okay, so and that's the help on the extract rates function. Okay, so based on this, the risk-free rate on that date was this. This is the dividend yield. Again, if you don't like these values, you can just look them up or find them from data. I just want to use this function, part of the MOE function, because it just makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so now I'm going to run the MOE function. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to save my data in this file. It's going to save it in the PDF version with the summary of the data, and it's going to also create a couple additional files as well too. I'll show those too. I'm going to also measure how long it takes to do it. Let's just make sure that my results are going to be outputted to my desktop. They are. Let's run the MOE function. Actually, before that, let me just clear this. Okay, so let's run the MOE function. Okay, it took about 11 seconds. I'm going to save the results of the parameters based on a mixture of log normals, 2 log normals here. These are the same values that you see here. This is the same as this. Of course, a better way would be just to save the results of the MOE function to a new objects and extract them here, but I just did it this way. So let me run this. Okay, so this MOE function is going to create 3 files. This my analysis, a CVS file that says my analysis calls, and the CVS file, my analysis puts. So let's look at the PDF file. It shows you the 5 different methods used here and the risk neutral density based on them. You can kind of see the Edgeworth expansion one's trying to probably overcompensate for the left skewness of the data. Goes negative here too, not good. Shows them one by one. This is actually based on the non-parametric center differentiation original method of extracting risk neutral density. It looks awful. Usually real data will look awful like this unless you pre-process your data a little bit more. The following plots show you basically regression of the market price versus the predicted price per each method. And as a measure of how well the method is doing, I'm just looking at the residuals and taking the mean of the absolute value of the residuals. You see that the mixture of log normals does the best. This is not very surprising because it has the most number of parameters. It may even be overfitting. Okay, and you're going to get 2 files. Just click on this, the one that says my analysis calls. This is what you get with this. This is a CSV file. These are the actual call prices that you put into MOE function. These are the strikes, and these are the predicted values based on BSM method, generalized beta, mixture of log normals, Edgeworth expansions, and Shimko method. You see that when it comes to calls, they're all very similar. When you go to the out of the money calls, though, you start seeing some issues here. So some of the methods like the Edgeworth expansion start going negative. Something similar you'll see for puts. For the out of the money puts, not so good, but for in the money puts, they're all pretty close. Okay, so I have a suggested method. I'm not sure if this has been done before or not. So one thing you could do is, this is what I'm going to do. Basically, I'm going to look at my calls, and I'm going to take an average value of these different methods, create a new basically column, and now once I have an average, straightforward average of these values, I'm going to use the non-parametric method. That's the method based on center differentiation to get the risk neutral density. Okay, so let me clear this. Okay, I'm going to read my, so this, actually you don't need the puts. This center differentiation, you could either use puts or calls, but not both. So I actually get both the calls here. This is actually not needed, so I'm just going to go ahead and get that too, but just show you some averages of calls and puts. So, oh, sorry, this is just the what did I do? Okay. Oh, this is just inputting the data into R. I'm not going to again use the puts. I'm only going to use the calls. So what I'm going to do is now take these guys and take the average of BSM through Shimko. That's what this function does. Apply the mean function, take out the first 2 columns, the market calls and strikes, and create the average of the calls. So for example, this value over here is the average of these guys here. I'm not going to deal with the puts. Okay, now you can use this get point estimate. This is the center differentiated non-parametric method to get the density. Let's run that and let's look at a plot of it. That's what it looks like. So this is basically combining all the methods together. It's a little bit of strangeness over here. Okay, now I'm going to start demo 2. Let's clear this. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is show you the method based on the mixture of log normals. I'm gonna compare my results with the mixture of log normals from the previous part. I'm still gonna run the MOE function. So this is another data set that comes, and these are the options, S&P 500 options from 2013 June 24th. So let's just load the data, information about the data. Now this one is structured differently than the previous one. If you look at a little bit of it, it doesn't have all the information that the first one had. So I'm going to pre-process this as well, similarly to the last one. Just get the calls and puts. Take a quick look. Okay, looks okay, at least visually. Okay, now get the dividend rates and dividend rate and the risk-free rate. These values were part of the description of the data. Now I'm going to run the MOE function. Let me clear this. Now let me just show you something. I have these three from the previous analysis. Now I'm going to call this my analysis 2013-06-24. So okay. By the way, you may get some of these warning messages. This is mostly due to the generalized beta distribution. This function, the MOE function, picks out the initial values for optimization, and sometimes it goes and searches in some areas that make the generalized beta function give NAN values. Those are excluded, however, when the final calculations are done. Okay, so now I'm going to save these values for the mixture of log normals for the second data set from June 24th. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the two mixture of log normal distribution from the two dates of 4/19 versus June 24th. This is just a mixture of log normals. So on April 19th, 2013, it looked like this black line. June 24, 2013, red. Okay, so let me clear this. So the next demo is VIX option. Again, this package comes with some VIX options. Take a look at it. Oh, before we go on, just want to show you that now you have these 3 extra files here. These are the analysis for the June 24th. We didn't have this before, so. Okay. Oh, and notice that I'm gonna run the MOE on VIX as well. The VIX data is not here. The results are not here there yet. Okay, so again, I'm going to do some pre-processing. There are some rows that have NAs, so I'm going to remove them. Of course, you may want to again pre-process the data in a different way. What I'm doing may be omitting too much data. Let's get the calls and puts and strikes. I'm not really sure if put-call parity holds for VIX, but just for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to run this extract rates. One thing I'm going to do over here, I'm going to check the put-call parity. So if I regress VIX puts minus VIX calls onto VIX strikes, if you were to do this with S&P 500 options, you would see points lying along a straight line. I'm just going to see if it holds for VIX as well. It does. Okay, now I'm going to run MOE, but I'm going to clear the screen over here. So this took about 6 seconds. Let's look at the output. So now, oh, okay, so this is the VIX one, right? Okay, so this are the VIX outputs. Okay, so that's the PDF. Generally, this Edgeworth expansion seems to overcompensate for skewness sometimes. Okay, again, the non-parametric method does not do a good job. This one. And these are the calls, what you saw based on BSM, GB, mixture of log normals, Edgeworth expansions, and Shimko method. Puts are here. Okay, the last one I'm going to show you is analysis of oil options, crude oil options. Let me clear this. You can't run the MOE function on this. MOE function is only for European options. So there's only one function in RND package. Let's show the. It's basically based on mixture of log normals, but 3 log normals. Let's look at the data. Description of the data is here. This is structured a little bit differently. The strikes are multiplied by 100, and you don't have you have this type variable that says whether you have call or put. In fact, ran this function, the tail function, puts are at the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my calls and puts, and put strikes and call strikes. Okay, this head just shows you the first 6 values. Let's look at the data. So this is a plot of the call prices versus strikes, put prices versus strikes. For this next function that we want to run to extract the risk neutral density, it is required that the puts and calls have the same common strikes. So in this case, I'm going to have to extract them or find what they have in common and get those calls and puts corresponding to the common strikes. That's what this does. And then I'm going to plot them together. Okay, so same strikes, puts, calls, and really to get the risk-free rate and the you really, in this case, I'm going to run the extract rates, but this is really wrong. But again, for demo purposes, I'm just going to run this and use the risk-free rate that I get from here. The appropriate thing to do would be to look at the risk-free rate at the time that we got this data. Okay, so this is the risk-free rate I'm going to use. Okay, so this function over here again requires common strikes. And for this one, I haven't done this before, but I'm going to set my lambda to be 100. It doesn't matter, but this is the basically penalty parameter for enforcing the martingale condition. So the larger this one, the more it will make the function obey the martingale condition. Actually, let me just clear this console. Run this. Again, this is not the MOE function. This just extracts the American density. This one is going to take a little bit of time. And again, one of the reasons why it takes a little bit of time is I'm not specifying initial values for your optimization. One thing you could do if it does take too much time, I think it's going to take about a minute here, is you may want to just take a subset of the data, run it on a smaller subset of the data, maybe at the money calls on puts, get the initial values and put them back into the function. could go check your Facebook account or something. I don't know. Okay, went through. Let me just show you what I mean by the initial values here. Okay, so the initial values, this has to work pretty hard. It has 10 parameters that needs to estimate. So that's why it takes a while to do this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the output of this and plot the risk neutral density for oil options. And there's the density as of October 1, 2012. Okay, thank you.